You stupid.
Hey everyone, welcome to episode 4 of Jump into Jump. This is my weekly series where I take a look at some Weekly Shonen Jump manga that I'm currently caught up on. In this video, we're going to be covering the new chapters of One Piece, Black Clover, Jujutsu Kaisen, and Chainsaw Man. This is issue number 51 for 2020. So every week, some series get colored pages. This week it was Sakamoto Days, which is a new Jump series, Black Clover, Mashal, and Build King. I said I was going to do a video on Build King last Friday, but I figured out some things about the author, and I don't know if I want to get into that, but we'll see. The cover this week is featuring Sakamoto Days. Like I said, it's another new Jump series. So this week we're going to mix it up a bit. Actually going to start with Jujutsu Kaisen today. So last week it ended on Sukuna about to risk it all on doing a domain expansion. He says, well, if I use domain expansion, Sukuna's just going to kill me, so I have to make it as short as possible. So he's doing a domain expansion for 0.2 seconds, I guess. We get another cool close-up shot of his domain expansion, which is those hands coming out of his mouth. As soon as he uses it, Sukuna's right in front of him. And they kind of have a little back and forth. It seems like Sukuna is trying to convince Mahito to kind of just let things go. But Mahito's not going to give up. He's going to still try to kill Itadori. But Todo's absolutely not letting that happen, and he switches places with Itadori at the last second. He gets his fucking hand cut off, and then he takes a black flash straight to the gut. Pretty smart move by Mahito. You would think Todo couldn't use his clapping ability without two hands, but like an absolute Chad, Todo just high-fives Mahito and switches places right back with Itadori, and he just fucking smashes Mahito right in the face with the black flash. I'm gonna have to go back and read up on the Black Flash a little bit because I don't really understand the ability and I don't know why everyone's fucking using it, but there's gotta be some reason. But anyways, Mahito just starts sending out more of his goons, and while they're distracted with that, Mahito just starts transforming, and he transforms into the instant spirit body of Distorted Killing, which is a pretty intense name. And I guess it's Mahito's birthday, so there's that. That's cool, I guess. Great chapter like always. Love to see Todo doing more shit. My favorite character in Jujutsu Kaisen for sure. But to see after this whole big fight and all this back and forth with Mahito that he actually has like a final form is pretty scary. But yeah, that's about it for that one. I guess we'll see what happens in this fight next week. Whatever crazy shit Mahito's about to pull out. Alright, let's move on to Black Clover next. So this chapter starts with Yuno doing some training. And then Langris walks up to Yuno and they start shooting the shit for a little bit. Honestly, getting some pretty suspicious vibes from Langris here, but he says all he wants to do is help Yuno train since he uses spatial magic, and they start doing their thing. After that, we're right back into Asta's training with Noct and Lieb. They're both on the ground, but Noct gives them like a basket full of breads and they get recovered immediately. I guess it's like magic food like Charmy makes. Asta's like,
hey Lieb, I got a great idea for ya.
Lieb is like, oh, 90% of the time this dude's a fucking idiot, but maybe it's something cool. Nope. He just asks Lieb to get on his shoulders just like you would in the pool, and he's just, you know. Then we learn their 2-day training session has already ended its run, and Noct now is going to get serious and try to kill Asta with his fucking black mana zone thing of darkness. That just makes everything black and all these black hands coming out of everywhere. Get a little bit of inner monologue from Asta and Lieb, and then bam, at the last second, it seems like Asta might have figured out Devil Unity. Get a close-up shot on his eye and there's like a little star in it, so I guess we might see a new form next chapter. Pretty hyped for that. But that's all for Black Clover. Let's move on to Chainsaw Man next. So Makima's closing in on Denji with the boys, and a whole lot of dead people start coming out of the ground. Denji uses his chains to just fucking grab a giant part of the ground and chuck it at Makima and all the other guys. And everyone just starts throwing down. A lot of great action panels in this one. She sees that the popularity that Chainsaw Man's gotten has kind of had an effect on Denji's power, so they're having a lot easier time beating up on him. And they actually managed to take him down. Makima uses her finger gun to just like blow the stigmata into her one hand and give Denji a bunch of blood so he can get back up. And it seems like she wants to kill him herself. And that's where that chapter ends. So finally, we're going to move on to One Piece. Chapter 996. We're only a few away from 1,000. It's crazy. Every week that passes, it just feels like a monumental event that's coming up. Just makes me wonder what the hell Oda's gonna do in chapter 1000. I feel like he's gotta make it special. Maybe we're gonna see some new faces show up at Wano. Maybe Shanks is gonna show up, or some Marines, or who knows. So last week, Nami was about to just get fucking killed by Ulti, and then Otama comes in at the last second with her lion dog. But it looks like she brought other friends to the fray as well, because there's this giant fucking like baboon fighting page 1. I'm honestly pretty excited to see Otama on the battlefield. After all the shit she's been through because of Orochi and Kaido, it's good to see that she's kicking ass in one way or another. And then we've got Yamato still holding down the fort, just batting away everything in her path, just taking explosion after explosion after explosion. But she just never goes down, just like Odin, except for that one time, I guess. She runs into Sasaki, who's basically commanding all the troops that are coming and attacking her, and he starts pulling out this sword, and it looks really cool. It's got like a bunch of diagonal lines with that blade pattern. I don't know what that's called. And we see a panel where Yamato kind of starts transforming. She starts getting sharp teeth, kind of like Dellinger did. So maybe she's a hybrid fishman human? I don't know. And then out of nowhere, in comes Frankie with the Shogun. And then while Frankie's coming in, this guy just busts a giant hole in the floor. Everyone falls through. While they're falling, Yamato just kind of bats something back up at that giant. And I don't know, it's not really clear what it was. Maybe it's a piece of rubble, but I like to think that she just bats the air and makes a light arrow just come out of nowhere. Momonosuke is all beat up, but Yamato is just like, you gotta survive. She says, you are the one that will guide the world to the dawn. So that's some pretty big shoes for Momonosuke to fill. It makes me wonder what he's gonna do at the end of Wano, or like what role he's gonna play going forward. We get a cool shot of Law cutting down Hold'em. I think his name was Hold'em, the guy with the lion on his chest, and he's walking right up to a poneglyph. And while he's walking up to it, we get some flashback dialogue about the Will of D, going all the way back to Dressrosa in the flashback with Corazon, where he explains to Law that the name D is given to those who are the natural enemies of God, or the gods, I guess. And it looks like Law's about to try and crack the code on the Will of D, so maybe we're gonna get some answers on that in the next few chapters. Maybe that's gonna be chapter 1000. I don't know, but I'm fucking excited. On the 3rd floor of the palace, we see Kid just dragging along a whole fucking heap of scrap metal. He's just magnetizing literally everything in the general area, weapons, whatever. And it's just this giant pile of metal, with people getting sucked into it and buried, probably dying. Meanwhile, at the top floor, Kaido's just making quick work of the scabbards at this point, I guess. They're all down. And we figure out Big Mom is on her way to the top too, trying to meet up with Kaido. Luffy's approaching the 3rd floor, and meanwhile, Sanji starts hearing some weird voices in his head saying some pretty naughty stuff. I wonder if this is somebody's ability, or maybe he's unlocking some form of observation haki? I don't know, was it ever established that observation haki also affects your hearing? Anyways, that's it for that chapter. No My Hero this week, so that's all we got. Might throw in Sakamoto Days next week, I don't know yet. But anyways, let's get on to the ranking. But first, let me eat this fucking pita bread. The past few videos, I've been a fucking idiot, and every time I do the ranking, I just start at number 1. I don't think there's any point in doing that, so we're gonna start at number 4 this week. And it's gonna be really difficult to do this because all the chapters this week were fantastic. So remember, just because it's 4 doesn't mean I didn't like it. And number 4 is going to be Chainsaw Man. A lot of amazing action panels this week. Can't wait to see how Makima's going to try and kill Chainsaw Man personally, but you know, who knows. Maybe she's going to get a transformation and turn into the Control Devil, who knows. We haven't seen her hybrid form yet, so I don't know. Number 3 is going to be Black Clover. I love how they went from a really funny gag of Lee being on Asta's shoulders like an idiot, straight into just Noct causing the eclipse and just black everywhere, hands coming out. But what I'm really excited for is to see Asta's Devil Union form, so maybe we'll see it next week. I hope so. Number 2 is going to be One Piece this week. Most of it was just a lot of moving from point A to point B. A lot of what we've been seeing recently is everybody running to where they're trying to get. And it seems like we're getting pretty close, so like I said, maybe that chapter 1000, all hell's gonna break loose, we'll see. Also, Yamato mentions Frankie's bounty? I don't know how she knows that, because there's no bounty posters in Wano, I don't think. So she's had to have left Wano at least once. We might be getting into some explanation soon about the Will of D, so super hyped for that. And number 1 this week, we're gonna have Jujutsu Kaisen. Pretty sure I say this literally every week in these videos, but Todo is my favorite character in Jujutsu Kaisen, so him being the focus of a lot of this chapter was awesome to me. Absolutely full of amazing action panels and art, like always, from Jujutsu Kaisen. And I can't wait to see what the hell Mahito's gonna do next week with his new transformation. But yeah, that's it for this week. Remember, I got 2 videos coming out pretty much every weekend, just bullshitting about manga stuff. If you like this video and want to see more like them, please consider leaving a like and subscribe. Any feedback or suggestions you have for future content in the comments below. But that's it. I'll see you guys.